Welcome to episode 21 of the Poker Face podcast, the day of the Iguana.
In this week's episode, we are introduced to Kirby and Victoria, a couple set to wed in glamorous surroundings. Alex and Charlie spot an opportunity to cater to the assembled guests, only to find an old friend amongst the congregation. When the celebrations take a tragic turn, Charlie is convinced the prime suspect is innocent. But can she persuade the FBI to ignore the evidence? Or will they trust that evidence over her ability?
Sorry, nobody brings a free breakfast without expecting some kind of a favour.
Well, it's less of a favour and more of an opportunity.
Good afternoon, Ian. How are you?
A lot better after that opportunity you presented me with this morning.
Never mind that. The other week there, I took you to a slap-up lunch.
Slap-up lunch, 3 courses.
3 courses, and you're refusing to return the favour, but we won't say any more about that.
3 courses for less than $5.
It's a Glasgow institution that I had never been. It's quite famous, certainly on YouTube, the Star Bar in Glasgow. It used to be £2.50 for 3
I'm not
courses.
sure famous is the word. Notorious.
Notorious,
yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to try that one day. And we went out there, and you don't want to go back.
It's the day before I went on my holidays, and it ruined my whole holiday. I was so ill. That's not true, but I didn't enjoy it.
Did you not?
No.
I thought it was okay. But anyway, I'm entitled to
a return trip.
Yeah. So I'll break you down at one point.
Maybe. It's always nice to see a wedding.
Is that? No,
I don't think so, no.
Not even your own.
But there were some returning favourites in this episode.
There were.
Which we will discuss in some detail.
Mm-hmm.
If you spotted them, talk to us on social media at the usual channels.
Oh, sneaking that one in, are you, before I edit it out?
Well, there you go.
Okay.
No one will know.
No.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I've got a football game I want to get back to
Okay.
on a TV. Let's crack on.
Did you enjoy the opening? It's a sort of a little set piece in Todd's house. He's trying to put on a bow tie, and for some reason it reminded me of Murder Under Glass.
Did it?
Just the guy putting on his bow tie. He seemed like some sort of dandy type.
Yeah, we've got a suburban home, and we see this frustrated man following a YouTube tutorial on how to tie a bow tie when the doorbell goes. This rings true. I have done, when I went through a sort of
Bow tie phase?
no, not a bow tie, but I'm more of getting through a more fashion conscious phase when maybe I did have to wear a tie or used to wear a tie. And in fact, even for my wedding, trying to do a double Windsor.
Right.
And yeah, you're watching it in reverse and upside down, all that type of stuff. Yeah, watched a lot of those videos. I can't remember now how to do a double Windsor.
No. I don't think it's a skill that's really particularly required unless you're going to take up professional snooker.
I cannot remember the last time I wore a tie. Maybe even only at a funeral these days.
Funerals and weddings, I think, is the only times I would wear. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
This doorbell goes, and the chap is surprised to find it's a chauffeur.
Yes, he's there to take him to the wedding, compliments of the groom, and it should be noted on his invitation.
Now, we should get, I did get suspicious immediately when we see the man is wearing a pair of fantastically stereotypical murderer gloves.
Yeah, 100%. He also takes possession of this invitation.
The invitation to who, for what?
Well, I mentioned it in the introduction. It's Kirby and Victoria's wedding.
Yeah, and the chap who is in the house, he was surprised. He didn't know about this service. And the man at the door, the driver, we'll call him just now, tells him it must just be a typo.
Yes, and if you weren't suspicious before, you would immediately become suspicious when the driver refuses to allow the door to close as the man returns to his bow tie and follows him in.
Yes, he enters with an ominously slow, creaking door.
A surprisingly unsuspicious Todd, we'll call him Todd, given that's his name. He is not surprised that this chauffeur's followed him in and asks for some, or accepts some help with his bow tie tying situation.
He's under pressure.
Yes.
He's flustered. So he's not thinking particularly
I
clearly.
think he maybe feels like the guy's rushing him out the door rather than anything else.
Yes. I think he mentions the fact that he should be able to teach himself how to do this as he is a teacher. Although that's not how teaching works.
It's not relevant, no.
So he accepts his assistance.
And they confirm, or the chauffeur confirms, that they wear the same size of suit.
Yeah, a 41 regular. He says, perfect, and then promptly strangles him to death as the YouTuber makes a joke about asphyxiation kinks.
Yes. Is there blood running down the hand and wrist of the killer here?
Yes.
Why?
That's mentioned later on.
Yeah, we see the scar later on, so why is he... He's obviously not caused this, but is it a burn even through his gloves?
That's a good point, actually. Would it go through a pair of leather gloves? Not sure it would.
My thinking was maybe it's opened up an old wound or something like that.
Well, if he's
Potentially.
always doing this.
Well, it might not be. It might have been a wound from something else. I don't know. Anyway, as the teacher Todd is killed, he falls to the ground, and his glass eye comes out and rolls across the floor, which I thought was a great shot.
Yeah, it was, yes. It's obviously, I mean, to me, this is a nod to Columbo. I mean, think glass eyes, you think Columbo.
Yeah.
And also, we've not mentioned this before, but I think it's worth noting or worth pointing out. In Poker Face, very much like in Columbo, you don't often see the murder in front of you. So the camera will cut away before it happens. And that is a trope of Columbo, because obviously at the time in the 60s, 70s, perhaps you couldn't get away with as much on TV.
Yes.
And it was a
It's
daytime
implied, and
show.
you would understand, yes. What happens next is something that never happened in Columbo.
What's that?
The man is zipped in a bag full of acid and dissolved to liquid.
Yeah, that was impressive. It was sinister. It was creepy.
We assume it's not actually possible, otherwise it would be happening a lot.
Would it?
Yeah.
Why? Who would be doing that a lot?
Killers.
Really? You think most killers
Pretty convenient,
are
isn't
hitmen
it?
who want to get rid of the bodies?
Well, certainly most people who kill people would probably want their body to be liquidized and dissolved. And
Yeah, most people
rid
who
of.
kill don't plan it. It's not, you're thinking like, this is the movies. Most
Well,
people,
trained assassins that go around these days.
Yeah,
Plenty of them. Although I believe something similar happened in Breaking Bad, and there was one of these little science things done to see, is it possible? And apparently, yes, it can be done.
yeah, of course you can get rid of, I mean, you've got the acid bath murders and all, what was his name? Was it Christie? Can't remember.
Well, you had the one here, the girl that got taken from the nightclub and
Yes.
was found in a
Very unfortunate. Yeah.
oil tank thing full of acid up
Yeah.
at a farm.
Of course, I mean, acid's going to destroy everything.
Yeah. But how come the acid doesn't burn through the case? What was that made of?
Anti-acid.
Anti-acid plastic.
Yes. It's made from Alka-Seltzer or whatever it is.
Having liquidized Todd, the killer then puts on his face.
Yeah, he uses prosthetics and fake hair and a contact lens to mimic the glass eye.
Well, here's the question though. Did he cut this from the body, or did he have this prepared in advance?
He had this prepared in advance.
Okay, so it's not literally...
No, he's not
stripped off.
Hannibal Lecter, no. No, you're a maniac.
Well, I just thought that might be
You
more...
saw the body and it had been dissolved. You didn't,
Yeah.
you didn't come out with a scalpel and start hacking it. No, don't be stupid.
Okay. Having rolled up his bag of human juice, he then has a look at some of his research material.
Yes, he empties the contents of an envelope onto the table, which includes information on Kirby the groom, as well as photographs of him drinking from a very specific can, and what else? An iconic shot of someone else.
Yeah, Columbo.
Yay!
Or
Made
Peter
them-
Falk as Columbo,
Yes.
depending on how the universe looks at it here.
Yeah.
Is Peter Falk, or is he Columbo in this? It's in the Columbo universe.
Yeah, he's Columbo. Okay. Thank you. That's brilliant. Yeah, a little nod. We got him in there eventually.
Yes, it wasn't subtle either. It was just, there he is. That's him. You weren't altogether believe me when I told you that it was a cameo from Peter Falk in this episode.
No, you did mention that because you're a few weeks ahead of me.
Yeah.
There you go. Anyway, we next find Mr. Tolocci, is it? I think it's Tolocci. You call him Todd. I'm calling him Tolocci.
Okay, I called him Todd, or from now on, fake Todd.
Fake Todd, right, okay. He's at the reception in Gatehouse of the wedding venue, handing over his ID and invitation. I was going to say this is quite a strict wedding, but I suppose if you are one of the wealthy elite, maybe you don't want paparazzi or anyone else infiltrating your private ceremonies.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, your average wedding wouldn't have it.
No, so I certainly wouldn't, no.
No. But yeah, if you've got money, I suppose you want to stop wedding crashers at least.
Yeah. Inside, we see fake Todd complaining that his cocktail tastes of balls.
So he does. No, so before that also, we see him struggling with his fake eye.
Well, yeah, this contact is sort of a
Yes.
full eye contact that moves around and is meant to mimic a glass eye, but he's finding it quite challenging, I think.
Yes, and this balls reference, as you say, is because this is a very tacky...
Product placement within the wedding.
Yes, so Kirby has got a marketing company that promotes this.
Multi-level marketing.
Multi-level marketing. Balls energy drink, and he's...
Ballzilla. The waitress here tells fake Todd that the cocktail of the day is Ballzilla, vodka and botanicals.
Yes, but there's even a banner up which reads, Kirby and Victoria, made in heaven, but fueled by balls.
Fake Todd asks the waitress if this is the multi-level marketing company that was sued into oblivion and is told that at least 2 of the lawsuits were settled.
She denies this and repeats a sales script, which he understandably just closes down and walks off.
Well, he's neither interested in manifesting abundance nor joining the groom's Ballzilla triangle of success.
So over at the ceremony section, he swallows an oyster that he's been given from a waitress before ominously stating to an inquiring host that he is there for the groom, who he spotted standing at the front at the sort of altar area if it was a religious ceremony.
The bride comes into a terrible upbeat dance version of the bridal march.
Yep.
At which point we notice
Agent Clark
up the back of the room with a mic in his lapel.
Now, not only do we notice that, but fake Todd notices.
Yes, and recognises, presumably to some extent, at least what he is, if not who he is.
So, did you say a mic? Did you say a mic in his lapel?
Yes.
No, that's a camera.
Is that a camera?
Yeah,
Okay.
because we find out later
He's
that
live streaming.
Streaming it, yes. Okay. This enrages fake Todd, who storms to the boathouse while on the phone to the person who has apparently hired him and telling them that they should have went to a ranch if they wanted a cowboy. He's ready to pull the plug on the hit as he believes he is either being misled or being led by an idiot, but agrees to remain after being enticed by the doubling of his fee if he can find a patsy to take the fall.
Conveniently, at that moment.
Sorry, this again is always something that I have mentioned this before. So the voice is being disguised.
Yes.
Now, if this is someone who we don't know or doesn't have any very distinguishable features, there's no need to do this. So whenever I see someone like the murderer or the killer wearing gloves,
Yeah.
or the voice has been disguised,
Yeah.
it's normally not a white man that we know. Often the gloves are to hide the hands of a woman, or if it's someone who's black, for example, who can easily identify and go, that's we can identify them from that. You're immediately thinking, okay, this voice, this must be someone who we.
Are you thinking,
know.
Good Buddy?
No, I was thinking at this point. I was thinking Hasp.
Oh, right, okay.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, understood.
You know.
Okay, so having been told to find a patsy, he is conveniently presented with one as someone we already know walks into the boathouse.
Who's that?
It's Alex.
Yes, she is there to retrieve some oysters from the water and gets a fright when she notices fake Todd. He pretends to be on a call to his dad and hangs up as she giggles that she has to get him to the fridge and has forgotten her oyster knife before leaving. And as he watches her leave, he describes her as the patsy on the half shell.
What's that a reference to?
Ninja Turtles?
You think?
I don't know.
Okay. Back inside, fake Todd speaks with Alex at the oyster stand, which she appears to be working at. He brings her a drink.
Yeah, the oyster bar, yeah. He gives her a non-ball juice drink, which she accepts and jokes about before he tells her his name is Todd, and she responds with a cringe factor of 10.
Yes, she asks him if anyone has ever nicknamed him Hot Toddy.
But before he can continue his flirting, the obnoxious groom and his bros walk over.
There he is, Mr. Talachi, fucking legend. Come here, get over here.
Come on,
Hey, get the guy.
man.
Hey, come here.
Hey, let it be Isaac.
This guy. Yeah, I can't believe how different you look.
Yeah, well.
You still look different.
It's been a few years, Kirby.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here, Mr. T. I still feel bad about that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't even know a rubber band could do that. You know, they should put a warning label or some shit on those packages. You know, if they're that fucking dangerous.
They do. It's written on the back. You just gotta read it.
You remember that eye jelly all over your classroom floor?
Oh, I remember that.
Dude, that was fucked up. Listen to me now. I'm gonna make it all up to you. I've got a new product line that's dropping. Ballzilla supplement powders. Powder your balls. And I'm gonna get you in on the ground floor. So no more of that bullshit teacher salary shit, man. Get ready to start manifesting abundance.
It's awesome, man. I'll see you guys.
Not so fast. You gotta do the thing.
The thing?
Yeah, that fucking hilarious thing you used to do all the time. Do it. Oh, yeah. Come on, do it right now. Fucking do it.
Sure.
There's just one more thing.
I don't even know where that shit is from. That cracks me the fuck up, dude. You are a fucking legend, Mr. D. Oh, fuck you. You're so funny. Mr. T! Mr. T! Mr. T!
Why is this guy showing up to this wedding?
No idea. So he's a teacher. Like, you wouldn't be invited, or you wouldn't show up to one of your former pupils anyway, unless you were in some close relationship.
Yeah,
The average teacher,
he put his eye out.
He put his eye, yeah.
And it's horrible to him.
Yeah. Why would he accept? Why would they be invited? And why would he accept?
And why was he so anxious about looking good for it with his bow tie and
I
everything?
have no idea. Also, the douche-bagginess of these idiots is confirmed when they admit to not knowing the Columbo reference.
Yeah.
Also, the fact chanting Mr. T, to me, that I'm just thinking B.A. Baracus at this point. I don't know why they don't even think about that either.
No, that's meaningless to them.
Yeah. Like earlier on, we obviously saw that the hitman was very thorough because the photo of Columbo is part of his research into...
because when I first watched this, I'm thinking he's not going to know what they want.
Well, that's what you're meant to think, but he does, and that's because he's done his diligence, which makes me question what happens soon.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
You will. At this point, Victoria, the bride, storms over to cut off this chanting, which is not allowed either before or after the speeches.
And then whispers a warning in his ear about his behaviour, and he leaves with her to do some chick shit.
Yes.
He's such a little rat bag, isn't he?
Yeah. His two bros wander off, leaving Vic Todd alone with Alex once again.
Yeah, he turns back to a disappointed Alex and agrees that he needs to manifest some new friends as she walks off with a plate of oysters.
At this point, we see him sleeve one of her oyster knives and eye up the electrics for the oyster fridge.
I've got a bit of an issue with the next scene.
Okay.
Fake Todd walks to the toilet, and as he does, he puts on a branded baseball cap and takes one from another guest.
A Ballzilla hat.
Yes. He enters the gents where Kirby is taking a leak.
Yes, and doesn't even let him finish.
Yeah. In this case, Kirby's right. He says, look, there are other... It's a really weird thing to do. I mean, this is just gents toilet etiquette. You stay as far away as possible and you fill up the gaps if you have to.
Yes.
You never go
No, but he's done this on purpose to intimidate him.
Of course he has, yeah. He stands right next to him and stares at him. And the drunk Kirby then states this is why they always ragged on him at school, as he thought he was a pervo, and warns him not to look at his dick. But how does Tolucci react at this point?
He pulls him away, still midstream.
Yeah, it's going everywhere at this point.
And injects him with something.
Yeah, he starts to choke him, then he pulls out a syringe.
Which he uses far too much force to insert into his neck as if he's got a hide of leather.
Yeah.
Completely unnecessary.
He then lets go of Kirby's now limp body, which allows it to fall to his knees and smacks his head off the urinal, and then proceeds to weekend at Bernie's him outside.
Literally whatever it down. Weekend at Bernieing him out to the boathouse.
Yeah, real problems with this because, firstly, it's far too chancy.
Too conspicuous.
Have you ever been to a wedding?
Exactly.
The toilets,
people everywhere.
Everyone is drinking generally. People are always going to the toilet. Also, this looks like these bros and all these guests look like the type of cokeheads who will always be in the toilet doing lines.
It's not just that, but he's walking him across this courtyard where there will always be people. There's always folk in every spot.
We are led to believe that he is meticulous. Everything you saw earlier on there, he was frustrated that his employer was a cowboy.
Yes.
Yet he's leaving this. You had to grab a baseball cap.
And he knows the FBI's there.
Yeah. Anyone can at any point can walk into that toilet.
Yeah.
And you're doing this. And then your plan was to walk a dead body across the...
Yeah. And not just a random guy, to the groom.
Yes. Oh, he was disguised by wearing a cap.
That's ridiculous.
It seems absolutely crazy. Anyway, back at the bar, Alex is annoyed to find that the plug has been pulled on the fridge and has ruined the oysters, which means she's got to go back to the boathouse to get more.
Yes, she calls this basically murder, saying that she will find whoever did it.
But as she does, she is shocked to see the body of Kirby in a boat with her knife through his eye. A bit like One-Eyed Willie from the Goonies.
Little bit. As she takes this in, we see fake Todd creeping up behind her with another syringe full of presumably sedative.
And then after we imagine this has been administered, we see a switch panel, a control panel with buttons being flicked. I think that's for the fireworks.
I think so. Before we see them go off, though, we're back inside where Victoria moans that Kirby is ruining her day.
They deserve each other.
Literally what I've got written down at the end of this.
Okay.
The fireworks go off, as you say, prematurely, which makes things worse for her, and she heads down furious towards the water.
I think at one point she literally stamps her feet in a tantrum.
Yes. She is, though, to her credit.
Sorry. We missed a great line here.
Okay.
She says this is her big day. She complains to her mum this is what they've been planning for, and then very naively states that you don't get married twice.
Yes. No.
I think, yeah.
I think she might.
Oh, yeah.
Heading out to the water to complain to Kirby about having set off the fireworks and taken the boat out early before they're meant to leave on it, she is, to her credit, devastated to find that he has died.
Well, you say devastated. I think devastated.
Shocked.
Yes, and her day's been ruined now.
Yes, her wedding day is the worst. She screams, which appears to wake Alex, who staggers to her feet on the boat, knife in hand, claiming not to have done it.
Yeah, knife in hand and also eyeball on the end of the knife.
Yes.
Now, this is our time skip of the week.
Yes, we head back to New York, to Charlie waking up to the sound of Mickey tap dancing in the apartment above and going full Mr. Heckles and banging the ceiling with a broom/mop.
Yes, clearly the novelty of the dancing fireman has worn off. And I think she mumbles about Mickey Rooney's School for Dogs, which is not a movie as far as I can see. However, I was coincidentally, the night before I watched this, I was watching the Emmy TV Legends channel, which I've mentioned about our website before.
Do you watch it a lot?
I do watch it all the time. I can end up, I think I'll watch 5 minutes of it and I end up, it's 4 a.m. and I'm watching obscure interviews with like producers or actors that I've maybe not even heard about or sometimes heard of in terms of the trivia we've done, but shows from the 50s and the 60s in America, and I'm watching people talk about it. It's fascinating, it's interesting. Anyway, I was watching Mickey Rooney the other day. I like about Mickey Rooney, especially the Andy Hardy movies from the 30s and the 40s. And I found out, his father is from Glasgow. Connection here. He was an actor, Joe Rule. His real name is actually Ninian Joseph Rule, and he's from just down the road. There you go.
There you go, another one for the list. At this point, we get the opening clip that we heard earlier on about the free breakfast and the opportunity.
Alex doesn't deny it, but frames it more as an opportunity, although Charlie insists that she is no sucker. And Alex, there's a bit of wordplay here.
There's constant wordplay throughout the episode, but in this case, yes, Alex points out it's shocker, not sucker. And
we cut to the apparently dying Barracuda with a business advert board on its roof. What is it?
It says Yippee-ki-yay Oyster Shucker, which we can talk about references and connections later on.
Oh, well, I think everyone knows about Die Hard there, don't they?
Well, that's Die Hard. I mean, but Die Hard's Bruce Willis, which is Sixth Sense, which is Haley Joel Osment.
Of course, yes. This is Alex's new business venture, which she came up with after talking to an Estonian oyster farmer in her dance class. I really do like Alex. She's a very interesting character, and I would like to see this partnership develop further.
It certainly will next week. Charlie apologises for the car, which she thinks is now in its last legs, and Alex is not too sympathetic.
No, but she talks about this opportunity.
Well, before that, though, she says that the car sounded like a herd of seals having an orgy.
Okay. I mean, I'm not sure how she would know that, but anyway.
Well, she tries to sell this to Charlie, saying that she's starting up this wedding oyster shucking empire, and although Charlie has a hard line against old-timey uniforms, she wavers when she hears the fee.
$7,000, yep. I'm up for a bit of that, she thinks.
Why not?
So, now dressed in company uniform like Alex, Charlie listens as she explains the oysters are kept in the fridge or in the water, and they have to be honoured for their ultimate sacrifice by making sure none of them die in vain, which obviously is why she was so upset earlier.
This is the oyster shuckers code.
Yeah, yes, and we're at the bar at the wedding. She also reminds her that a spoiled batch could literally kill everyone, causing Charlie to offer to stick to the lemons.
Yes, she does thank Charlie for helping her and honestly tells her that she was at the lowest point in her life when she met her, but feels that things are finally turning around, and she then appreciates Charlie's oyster pun in response.
I think it's an "aw shucks."
Yeah.
Which, again, that's why I was so not disappointed, but I thought Charlie acted out of turn in the previous week when she was very off with someone who was quite clearly vulnerable.
Sure.
But she did turn it around, so.
She has.
Now, outside we see a van.
It's a balloon van.
The Balloon Guys, which is in fact the base for the FBI.
You all right, sir?
Yeah.
Todd Tolochi.
Groom's high school English teacher, not a threat.
Roger that.
I still think this is a stupid fucking idea.
Agent Milligan, teamwork means being open to any and all ideas. Agent Clark feels strongly this endeavor is worthwhile. I would like you to be supportive.
Ma'am, I think it's great that you went to sensitivity training, but I know that you agree with me. This is bullshit.
Those feelings are also valid. Thank you for sharing them.
Let's just focus on IDing everyone entering those gates. We get in, we film, we congratulate, and we disappear. No surprises.
Better fucking not be.
Do you like the sensitive FBI lead?
I like her character development in this episode.
Yes. At the bar.
Yes, Alex explains the 3 types of oyster to
She's
Charlie.
waited until the last minute to train up her staff on a subject matter that, as she herself said, if you get it wrong, could result in death.
Well, I think this is just the varieties. I don't think this is about death.
Okay, but still, give a bit of training literally, before you're
Did you
working.
clock the 3 types of oyster?
Nah, go for it.
No, I didn't know them down either.
Right,
But
okay.
neither did Charlie, who refers to them as Deepwater Horizon with an oily texture, which he tries to present them to guests.
Yeah, she heads off with this casual style. It doesn't seem to catch much business. And as she does, she's handed a flyer from a guy dressed as an energy drink. And she can't help but comment on the crassness of using your own wedding to shill a pyramid scheme. Do you remember there was a very infamous celebrity in the UK who, I think this was their downfall,
Okay.
Anthea Turner.
Yeah, the wedding with Grant.
Bovey, I think his name was.
Bovey, yeah.
Yes, so she was a date or a morning breakfast.
She'd been on Blue Peter and she'd moved on to GMTV. I
Yeah,
think.
she was a presenter on a breakfast show. She was very popular. She was on a lot of shows, actually.
Yeah.
And she had a wedding where she shamelessly plugged the flake chocolate bar.
Yes.
It was all over the front. And I think from that point on, the sort of public opinion, up until that point, she was like sort of the golden girl. Very inoffensive and quite
It all went
attractive.
very swiftly south for her.
Yeah, then the gig sort of dried up after that. Oh, well, these days it probably doesn't seem as big a deal, but I think back then, before the influencers punting
It
everything.
caused public outrage.
Yeah.
I like this next little bit. So, Ballzilla can guy tells Charlie it's not a pyramid scheme.
What is it?
It's a triangular selling system, which leads her to refer to it as Euclidean. And that is maths pertaining to flat shapes. So, triangle rather than pyramid.
Sure, okay. Oh, I think he also says it's legal in 32 states.
That's most of them.
Yeah.
We then see that it was Charlie who gave fake Todd his oyster earlier on, and his eye is bothering him.
Yeah, I think she assumes that he is emotional as he keeps dabbing at it.
Yes.
And is surprised when he looks at her and she sees his pupil is facing the wrong way, but lets
Listening
him
to
know.
Starboard, she says, yeah.
Lets him know, and then he moves it back into place. But rather than being thankful, he snaps that oysters should be shucked to
Did
order.
you think he was snapping? I thought he was just having a conversation here.
No, I think he was unhappy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I got it, yeah. He says they should be shucked to order and asked how long they've been sitting on the ice.
She explains that her partner doesn't trust her with the oyster knife, and he says that in the wrong hands they can be dangerous.
Oof.
Which prompts Charlie to ask him if that's how he cut his hand, which is what you referred to earlier on. We can see this scar on his hand, and he lies to her by saying it happened in his garden, which she calls out.
Again, you have to say, why does she feel the need to call out this?
Well, I think it's instinctive quite often for her.
She needs to control herself.
Well, she's been trying. Before she or he can get into it any further, they're all called out to the lawn for the ceremony. Well, she's not, but the guests are.
So as the guests celebrate, Charlie sits with the now depressed human drink, who in the staff area, who has been contemplating the scam and how he has invested 46k up front with only a few hundred back.
Yes. At that point, Charlie, however, loses interest when she sees her old friend.
Yes, Clark, or Luca, strides past, following Kirby, who doesn't want to discuss something with him.
Luca is very displeased to find Charlie is at the wedding.
Yeah, she walks through the kitchen area to see an upset Kirby smash a gift from his hands while screaming that he doesn't want her in his life, and that's why she wasn't invited, and he is crushing life without her. Anyone who says that, like, I'm crushing life, and all that, is a
Fake.
knob.
Mm-hmm.
He storms off, and it's Charlie's turn to surprise Luca by saying hi.
Yes, he is, like I say, very displeased to see her as he is undercover.
Yes, dismayed rather than displeased. He's not, I mean, he doesn't dislike her.
No, he just doesn't want her around for this. This is setting his therapy back several months.
Why is he getting therapy?
He has imposter syndrome because he keeps getting promoted because of her help.
She doesn't know whether to apologise or congratulate him, but assures him that she'll stay out of his way.
As usual, Luca can't help but spill the beans to Charlie.
Well, no, I mean, that's not fair. She snatches the gift from him and is unnerved to see a photo of a kid and who?
Beatrix Hasp.
Yes, and who's the kid?
Her son, Kirby.
Hasp made it a condition of her witness testimony that she could watch a live stream of the ceremony, this wedding, and hasn't seen her son since birth.
Yes. Luca confirms this to Charlie and then leaves her there and rushes off to do whatever he has to do.
Yeah, but this didn't really... I mean, Charlie thinks that Hasp must be devastated at his reaction, but I don't know why. Up until this point, she could have been in his life.
Well, yeah, but I think Charlie explains this later on why she wouldn't have been.
Okay.
What I don't understand is why, if he's this upset about it, he's allowed the FBI to show up at the wedding at all.
Who has?
Kirby.
He hasn't. He didn't know he was FBI.
Why was he inviting this guy? Who did he think he was?
He won't know who he is. Just a random. He's the FBI. I've got an invitation somehow, and he'll think it must be the other side of the family.
Maybe.
Anyhow, also I think Luca tells her to just go. I don't know why you're here, but I hope you enjoy whatever you're doing in your old timey uniform.
Yes. Down by the water.
And not realising just yet how much of an arse Kirby is, Charlie approaches him as he wistfully throws stones into the water.
Ballzilla and vodka?
Not a good time right now, thank you.
It's mostly vodka. It's really weird. I know your mom. Actually, she spent a long time trying to kill me. Don't worry, we kind of worked it out.
Well, I'm glad that worked out for you, but this woman doesn't give a fuck about me. She abandoned me when I was this tiny, pussy-ass baby, and now she knows I'm getting married, but she doesn't come in person. She sends this fucking dweeb to do a live stream, and I'm supposed to be what, grateful?
You see, she's the kind of person where everyone she gets close to winds up either murdered, maimed, or arrested. And when you're that kind of person, well, the most loving thing you can do for someone is to stay as far away from them as possible, no matter how painful. So, if she's reaching out to you from Witsec through that FBI dweeb, that means, she must have called in a million favors, risked her life just to see you again, just to get that picture to you.
It's hard not to think of all the things we could have done together. With her whole criminal network, can you imagine the fuck ton of Ballzilla we could have moved? Think of the bank.
You really are your mother's son, huh? It'll be okay, kid.
I'm glad he died and get his face smashed off a urinal.
That was Charlie there giving the explanation for why Hasp hasn't been involved in his life, because people close to her either get killed or jailed.
Sure.
That's what we saw with her husband.
Yeah.
Who I presume is not this guy's father.
Yeah. But still, you don't have to cut them off completely. You can still secretly see them. And you just don't maybe live with them, and they live with a family member somewhere else, and you still speak with them. Anyway, back inside the party is in full swing as Charlie brings Alex up to speed on the rat mole Hasp thing and her connection to Kirby.
At this point, Charlie explains that she doesn't follow Beatrix Hasp on Finsta, which I think is an Instagram type social network.
Food
Insta.
Yeah.
Because her baking photos would just mess up her feed.
Yeah. Well, she says that the pair are now cool, her and Hasp, and Hasp even asked her to follow.
Yes.
She notices Alex is a bit tipsy.
Yes, Alex confides that a cute guy has offered to shuck her shell
and slurp her down raw.
Charlie at this stage wants to go for a vape break, having just returned from a drinking break.
Yes. And as she walks off with a picture, the camera focuses on the now unplugged plug.
Yes, which we know about from the opening sequence.
So as she slurps from this picture outside, she watches two people stumble together who we know are fake Todd and the Bernie Kirby.
Yes.
And she assumes they're just lightweight drinkers.
She does. And back inside, she spots the oyster issue with the unplugged fridge and notices that Alex is not about.
And then the fireworks are set off. So outside, she watches as the bride screams and goes outside, and then through binoculars sees Alex stand with the knife and eyeball, proclaim her innocence, and then leap into the water to try and escape. And of course, she knows that Alex is telling the truth when she shouts out she didn't do it.
Yes. that brings us up to speed with where we were at the start, and we now see the FBI emerge from their balloon truck.
Yes, it's kind of like this. The door opens and all these balloons waft out as the leader agent receives the news about Kirby and that the suspect is on the loose. For a moment, I've noted here, is she the one who hired, is she involved, the leader FBI?
FBI.
But I've changed my mind on that, but
Okay.
I thought that at the time, so I won't put in my corrections.
We don't get any answers this week, so
Yeah.
no point in cutting off your speculation.
Okay.
Luca now takes an opportunity to explain to Charlie why things look bad for Alex, which Charlie is not stupid and fully understands.
And even if he did believe Charlie, what about everyone else, including Hasp, who has very powerful connections to this day?
Yes.
He assures her the best thing is for Alex to hand herself in and he will keep her safe. Although the FBI leader doesn't actually say this and instead asks to speak to him alone.
Yes, so Charlie says that sounds good, and he then explains to his boss that he was lying, which he then immediately realises Charlie would know.
And as he turns around, he sees that she has gone. She runs through the staff areas and hides as some other agents are on the lookout for her. On the lookout for a woman dressed as Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, a Caucasian woman in her mid-30s with red hair dressed like Steamboat Willie. She makes her way to the sort of breakout area that we saw before, where we find Alex hiding. She kind of reaches out creepily
Yes.
and puts her hand on Charlie's shoulder to get her attention.
She tearfully promises that she didn't do it and that he was already dead in the boathouse, and thinks that she must have passed out, as the next thing she remembers is waking up with the knife in her hand. Charlie tries to calm her by agreeing with her, accepting her story, but then stresses her again by mentioning the mob, the FBI, and asking who did kill him if not her.
Yeah, she says it looks bad, but Alex has thought of a way out.
A boat from the boathouse.
All they need to do is find a way to get there inconspicuously.
Charlie thinks she has the perfect disguise as they turn and look at a balls can uniform and a gorilla costume.
Indeed. Meanwhile, Luca and the other FBI folk Luca wants the other FBI agents to listen and to chatter about the event, which the sceptical Milligan, the blonde girl, is not pleased about. She calls the whole thing a boondoggle and says this is a nonsense, essentially.
Yeah, so Luca says, listen, I know it sounds bad, but there's someone who's told me something and I believe them. It doesn't look good, but yeah, look into this chatter about a hitman. See what the underworld, see what the people, your moles, etc., what people are saying, what they're saying online or wherever it is.
After Milligan moves on, another agent, I think he's called Radquist, says to Luca not to take it personally because Wendy filed for divorce last week, but he did blow it on this one.
Yes. And while Luca tries to compose himself outside, he notices the can and the gorilla making a run for the boathouse.
I think he realises who it is and what they're doing.
Inside, they discard their costumes and lower a canoe into the water, which
full of murder stuff.
Charlie is not convinced actually drives itself.
No, but yeah, when they bring it down, it's full of murder stuff.
Yeah.
There's
the cap, certainly.
Yes, and the eye contact lens.
Yeah.
Which leads Charlie to a realisation.
Yeah, she remembers the apparent lightweights and understands what's going on here.
Alex says it must have been Hot Toddy. And Charlie says it's more likely that it was a professional pretending to be Hot Toddy.
And at this point, we see Clark run over to enter the boathouse, only to be dismayed to see them driving off.
Charlie! This is ridiculous. Can you please just turn yourselves in so I don't have to get my shoes wet?
Look, there's a professional hitman here. He killed a groom, and then he set up Alex, and now she's a loose end.
If what you're saying is true, we can find out who the assassin is. We can protect her.
Oh, bullshit!
We can at least try to protect her. Word is already out to the 5 families about Hasp's son. There are goons mobilizing coast to coast. They all think when Hasp testifies, she'll go easy on whoever whacks her son's killer. What are you gonna do? Canoe your way to safety? You can't. Shit.
I trusted you. Row, Alex, row. Row your little boat.
Fuck!
That's very good.
Making their escape by canoe, Charlie and Alex make their way to the Barracuda, now shorn of its oyster-based accoutrement,
and smash through the gatehouse barrier on their escape to freedom. I guess a lovely chase action movie trope, smashing through the barrier.
Back at the wedding venue, the head FBI woman, Darville, screams at Luca and says she's tossing her sensitivity training aside, which is pleasing to Milligan, who says she's glad to have her back.
Yes. In the car, as they drive, a distressed Alex is crying and in a panic about the situation she finds herself in while just trying to make 7k shucking oysters to make a dent in her student loan.
Alex thinks that she's a dead woman walking, but Charlie reckons there's one person who can help them.
Yeah, one person who can deal with the mafia, murderers and the FBI.
Beatrix.
Oof, that's a bold choice.
Yes, and after a few moments' thought, she slams on her brakes, realising that they could find out where she is via her Finsta.
Yeah, well, I think what Charlie says is that although it doesn't sound like a good idea, if she can convince Hasp there's a doubt, Hasp will want to know who the real killer is of her son.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do they do with this Finsta?
They go through the images looking for clues as to Hasp's location, and one of them is a very carelessly positioned flyer.
I was going to say that if you are in witness protection, you don't, firstly, you shouldn't be taking any pictures, but secondly, you don't put a picture up with names and addresses on it no matter what.
No.
Terrible.
It's a street address that they get, which doesn't narrow it down because it could be in any city, but there's also a photograph.
No, okay, so what is it? It's a political junk mail, political flyer.
Yes.
She gets, and this politician has got a photo of himself and a partial street address for his headquarters, his campaign office.
Oh, is it not her address? I thought it was where the flyer had been posted to.
Sorry, yes. Or is it?
Yeah, which is even more careless.
Yes, yeah, it is. Yeah. Anyway, they do a reverse image search of the politician.
Acting like it's some great new technology.
Yeah, and they find out what?
It's a 10-hour drive away in Indiana.
However, Charlie is more concerned that half her feed is now baking videos as they hit the gas and roll.
Back at the wedding, Agent Milligan has to confess that there has been some chatter around this event.
Yes, not a lot of chatter, mind you, just one word.
Chameleon.
Or
Iguana.
Yes.
Well, they're all the same.
She doesn't know what it means, but Clark draws
how does she
breath.
not know? Both the other two know immediately what this is.
Maybe that's not her specialist area.
Maybe. Anyway, yes, Luca and Darville both know what Iguana refers to.
And they explain it is the code name of the world's most deadly hitman.
Darville thinks it's a made-up story to scare young FBI agents. But Luca thinks that if Charlie and Alex are alive and the Iguana is involved, it's because the Iguana wants them alive to be led to Hasp. That is far too convoluted a plan to ever make sense.
Yes, I think I can't get my head around this. There's so chancy that there's absolutely no way that she could. The percentage chance of this working out is minute.
Obviously it's just an idea that Lucas had. It's not what he's saying has definitely happened.
Yeah.
But I suppose if the Iguana was hired to kill Kirby, they might then take advantage of this other opportunity that presented itself rather than it being the long-term plan.
Yeah, but they're saying that he's not. He was only killing Kirby collateral damage.
So the whole plan was to frame Alex to set up...
No, I don't know, but the whole plan is to get to Hasp. Nothing to do with Kirby.
Yeah. Anyway, we're almost at our cliffhanger.
Well, okay, so just to be clear here. Luca says that Charlie is leading the Iguana to Hasp and they are facing a bloodbath. I'm not sure if that's correct. It's one death, isn't it? It's not really a bloodbath.
But there'll be a lot of blood.
Well, a bullet through the head?
Well, potentially.
Or a strangulation even?
Yeah, it could be, but it could be a lot of blood. I think it's just a term, isn't it, for killing?
No, not really, no. A bloodbath is when, a real sort of massacre, lots of devastation. One person being strangled, I wouldn't class that as a bloodbath. No.
But maybe he's thinking that they'll kill off Alex and Charlie once they get to Hasp.
Well, maybe, yeah. So that's true.
We then see Hasp at our house taking some cookies out of the oven as an ominous track.
A portentous gospel song, yes, about death is sung.
What are your theories? Well, sorry, we should say that's the end of this episode. So what are your theories about what's going to happen?
I'm not sure yet. I've got a few things boiling up, but
save them.
Yeah, I'll save them for next week because, I don't know. There's just something stirring.
Yeah. Did you feel bad for Kirby at any point? It seemed to me.
No.
Like you said earlier, he got the wife he deserved, and then he got the death he deserved.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, he was a horrible little bro.
You willing to make any predictions at this stage for what might happen next week?
Yeah.
Think Charlie will die?
No, I'll make that prediction. Charlie will not die.
Do you think there'll be a cliffhanger?
Hope not.
Oh.
Don't get what? Okay.
Well, it's the end of the season. It could go either way. It could be a ridiculous cliffhanger.
We had a cliffhanger with Matlock and I wasn't satisfied, so no. I want this to be resolved. I'm not saying don't lead into something else, but don't leave us,
Okay. Trivia, unless you've got any other points to make? Let's rattle through this then. Director this week was Ty West, an award-winning horror director, as you might have guessed from some of the shots that he used in this particular episode. He's worked on things like The Innkeepers, Pearl, Maxine with 3 X's in the middle of it, Cabin Fever 2, Spring Fever, although he unsuccessfully petitioned to have his name removed from that last one after some extensive reshoots and re-editing.
Is that a Smythe? Alan
Yes,
Smythe?
they wanted Alan Smithy, and they said, because you're not in the union, we don't have to do that. Okay. The writer was Andrew Sadrowski, who has worked on things like the film Holland that we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, and the series Manhunt Unabomber, which he got a creator credit on. I don't think he created the Unabomber.
Hope not.
Both Todd and Fake Todd were played by Justin Theroux.
Now his surname is more well, he's got a famous surname. Obviously, his father was a famous writer.
Yeah, and his cousin is the documentary maker Louis Theroux.
I'm not sure how big he is in the States. A lot of in fact, I think he's American citizen. Louis Theroux, I think partial.
Maybe.
And a lot of his famous work is actually based in the US.
Yeah, and I think he's gained a bit of fame recently for the song that he did about his money not jingling and folding. He did quite well with it. You didn't catch that particular moment in history?
No, I've not. I've read these 2 books. He's had 2 books out. One, it's sort of the play in words.
Okay.
For his, I think it's his first autobiography was Theroux, The Keyhole.
Oh no. Anyway, getting back to his cousin Justin, who was actually in this episode.
Not way.
He used to be married to Jennifer Aniston.
He was, yeah.
He is married to somebody else now who's not as interesting. He won 2 Emmys for live in front of studio audience performances. He's also been in things like 6 Feet Under, Mulholland Drive, Beetlejuice, Star Wars The Last Jedi, which is the Rian Johnson one, Parks and Rec, Zoolander, American Psycho, going back a bit. Agent Darville, who I quite liked, and I think you also quite liked, the lead FBI agent. She was played by Lily Taylor. She was Emmy nominated for 3 different shows. Her work on 6 Feet Under, American Crime, and on The X-Files. She's also appeared in things like the movie Ransom with Mel Gibson, The Haunting, The Conjuring, The Nun, Almost Human, I Shot Andy Warhol, and going back a fair bit, Mystic Pizza.
Ah, okay. That's Julia Roberts, wasn't it? I think.
It was. Kirby, the victim, was played by Haley Joel Osment, a breakout star as a child for his Oscar-nominated role in The Sixth Sense. He's also been in things like Forrest Gump as a child, Murphy Brown, one of your favourites when he was a youngster, AI, Artificial Intelligence, Tusk, which is an amazing documentary about a man being turned into a walrus.
That's a Kevin Smith movie. That's a very weird and quite disturbing film, actually.
Yeah, it's a true story.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley, The X-Files, Star Trek Lower Decks, Happy Gilmore 2, which I watched recently and enjoyed his performance, and also Wednesday, the most recent season of that, which I also enjoyed his performance, and he played a serial killer in that one. He's also got numerous high-profile voice roles, including a recurring role on the Kingdom Hearts video game series, which I wondered might be the inspiration for the name Kirby, although the character Kirby is not in that specific series. Agent Milligan, the caustic and sceptical FBI agent, was played by Taylor Schilling, who is obviously very well known for her Emmy and Golden Globe nominated role on Orange is the New Black, and has also shown up in things like Argo, American Horror Story, one of your favourites, Pam and Tommy, and Mercy. Victoria, the bridezilla/widow, was played by Emma Fitzer-Price. She's a Juilliard grad and has appeared in things like FBI International, Evil, and American Rust. Some more general trivia. Locations: the wedding was at the Larchmont Yacht Club in New York, and we saw briefly Beatrix Hasp's house at the end. That's 140 Union Avenue in Tarrytown, New York. One of the waitresses at the wedding, I think possibly the one that was trying to give the explanation of the scheme at the start, she gave the taglines, was played by Kate Thulin, who you will remember as being the writer of Sloppy Joseph earlier in the season. Hasp's Finsta bio says, "Hi Charlie, I'm bored as fuck. Here's some stuff I baked." And her handle is @alwaysbebaking with B spelled B-E-A, as in Beatrix. Episode title, Day of the Iguana, appeared to be influenced by The Day of the Jackal. There was a really fun remake of that last year with Lashana Lynch and Eddie Redmayne, which I thoroughly recommend. Also Bruce Willis, who was in Sixth Sense with Haley Joel Osment and was referred to by the Oyster Shucker tagline, was in a remake of that called The Jackal.
Oh, yeah, The Jackal's that's a good movie.
Yeah, and there's also a Tennessee Williams play called The Night of the Iguana, which maybe is another inspiration, although there's not much connection plot-wise with that one. In terms of music, we've got the dance version of the Wedding March, and then the outro. I did a bit of digging in this. It's quite a tricky one to tie down. I think it's a variation on Soon One Morning / Death Comes A-Creeping in My Room by Mississippi Fred McDowell. In terms of who did crimes this week, Fake Todd killed Real Todd and Kirby's pyramid scheme. Yes. Clearly a crime.
Yeah, obviously.
Fake Todd, will he get away with it? Don't know yet. Kirby, nope, dead. Next week, Charlie comes face to face with the Iguana and discovers their true purpose isn't what she'd assumed in the end of the road.
Until then,
cheerio.
Bye-bye.